print, email, Facebook, Twitter. More wine and cheese is steeped in tradition, but foodies who love tea leave their options open. You've boiled the jug and brewed the perfect cup of tea. All you need now is the right snack. If your first instinct is to make a beeline for the biscuit tin, you may want to think twice. Flavor nerds following their noses to Australia's latest foodie trends are reaching for gourmet cheeses to accompany a hot cuppa. Yes, you read that right. Apparently tea rivals wine for the flavor combinations it can create when sipped alongside one of our favorite dairy products. Filling the demand for this new pairing trend is Brisbane fromagerie owner Sarah Thewillett and online tea seller Kim Cooper. They run cheese and tea pairing nights out of a small cafe southeast of the city and have attracted a small following of curious food lovers. Between tastings, Ms. Cooper carefully steeps aromatic loose-leaf teas in clear teapots, keeping a close eye on her phone's timer while preparing smaller serving pots. Each cheese serve comes with a history lesson. Before the first bite, Ms. Thewillett has explained everything from where the cheese was made and aged, right down to the type of grass the cows ate to produce the milk. The workshops aren't far off the sort of education you would expect at other popular food and alcohol pairing events, and it's something the duo said people were increasingly willing to try. The magic, Ms. Cooper explained, came from the unlikely combination of temperatures and tastes. That's what tea has over something like wine or some of the other beverages you can get. It's the heat. By warming your mouth up and your palate, when you eat the cheese it becomes a bit melty and softened and you get that combination of flavors. That's where I think it's very special. Cheese and tea pairing has taken off in Melbourne and Sydney, but is a fairly new experience open to adventurous diners in Brisbane. Ms. Thewillett, who grew up eating the best French cheeses at her parents' shop in Normandy, said the project was a huge learning curve. "I just realized I didn't know anything about tea," she said. "My challenge was finding a diversity of cheeses that go with tea, because you can do a night with just one family of cheese, but I don't think that's what people expect. It's a really new world for both of us and a great discovery." Blue cheese and black tea. According to Ms. Thewillett, there is no hard and fast rules for pairing cheese with the right tea. She said it was a matter of experimenting to find what worked best. "We found that an oolong or black tea would probably go with a blue or hard cheese," she said. "A lactic wash rind or goat cheese is beautiful with green tea." The duo said matching both elements was similar to the way a sommelier chose fine wines to complement food, and the flavors found in tea were just as complex. "As soon as you have a liquid that's got a diversity in terms of texture and taste, you can basically do a pairing with food," Ms. Thewillett said. Ms. Cooper said tea and cheese were both agricultural products affected by terroir, the soil found in different countries and regions that can affect the flavor of the product produced from it. You end up with this ability to have teas covering all spectrums, all aromas and flavor profiles, she said. "It should be showcased, like wine is with cheese, because the possibilities are endless. Not just a drink for your grandmother." Ms. Cooper said she was devoting more of her time to tea education to help people understand how to get the best out of their favorite brew. Mass-produced commodity tea sold in bags was something she wanted more tea drinkers to abandon. "I'm trying to make tea more approachable and interesting to a much wider population," she said. "By doing things like tea and cheese pairings, it just shows it in a very different light and the diversity of the beverage or infusion." The trained tea master said people wanting to take the plunge and start their own pairing experiment at home should try to use good quality ingredients and seek advice about tea brewing times. "People often give green tea a bad rap, and the main reason is, it doesn't perform so well when it's brewed on boiling water," she said. "That bitterness and astringency will come out very noticeably. It brews well if it's on a lower temperature, and you have to shorten the steep times to try and get it in that sweet spot." As for your favorite cheeses, Ms. Thewillett said the key was to let your wheel or wedge get to room temperature before taking the first bite.